I'm Jackie.
And we're expecting a Zach.
Yeah, we'll see.
Together, we are functionally literate. We are doing Interlude number 3 today, which means it is our 3rd anniversary. Congratulations to me.
Good job.
Thanks. I tried real hard. So, for those of you unfamiliar, those of you that have never listened to these, we're not really going to be covering any specific book in particular today. Today is more about just celebrating the podcast, celebrating us, celebrating what we've done, talking about the future a little bit, maybe talking about analytics.
Ugh.
I mean, if you're curious.
Let's just talk about the future part. I don't really want to.
You don't really want to get bogged down in the analytics?
You talk about it. I'll talk about the future.
Oh, you don't want to know about, like, our current top 10 episodes, for instance?
I do actually want to know about that real bad.
I thought so. You want to hear those first?
Sure. I'm really hoping that one of my episodes is on there.
So do you want to hear about our top 10 episodes according to Spotify for creators, or do you want to hear about our top 10 episodes according to YouTube?
Dealer's choice.
Okay, we'll start with YouTube.
Okay.
I have beef with YouTube, by the way. Their filters are too strict. If there's anything that they don't like in the title or the description, they will make the episode private, and they will not tell you.
Ooh, can you go in and make it public?
You can, but it really goofs things up when I find out about that after the fact.
Yeah. That sucks. Dang, YouTube. Why you gotta be the heavy?
So here's most viewed episodes on YouTube.
Are you gonna start from the bottom of the list and go to the top?
Oh, I could do that.
I would. It's not my podcast or anything, but...
Okay, top 10 YouTube episode is the first episode of my coverage of The Princess Bride with Kit.
Loved it. Loved the Princess Bride coverage.
Number 9 is the 5th season, chapters 12 through 14. Oh, I'm sorry. The 10th episode is at 148 views on YouTube, one like. The number 9 episode...
Wait a minute, when was the 10th episode, like, published? When was it put out there?
October 1st, 2024. So that's a special day, because that is sandwiched in between my dating anniversary with Kit, anniversary of our first date, and that's the day before, and then the day after is my wedding anniversary with Kit.
Cute.
Yeah.
Aww.
So the number 9 episode was the 5th season, chapters 12 through 14, 153 views, 3 likes. Number 8 episode, the 5th season, chapters 6 through 8, 164 episodes, 2 likes.
You mean
2 comments.
164 listens.
What did I say?
Episodes.
You're right, listens. Number 7 episode is The Princess Bride, the 2nd episode that I covered with Kit. 175 views, 1 like. Number 6 is The Obelisk Gate, chapters 1 through 3. That is a book I covered with Julia. 262 views.
Ooh, big jump.
Number 5 episode is The Princess Bride, Buttercup's Baby, which is the final chapter of The Princess Bride.
Mm-hmm.
That got 362 views and 2 likes.
Okay.
Number 4 episode, the 5th season, chapters 3 through 5, 368 views, 1 like. Number 3 episode, the 5th season, chapters 9 through 11, 512 views, 3 likes.
Interesting. Number
2 episode, Les Morts d'Arthur number 4, chapters 1 through 7,
Lovely.
630 views, 6 likes, 1 comment. And then peaking at number 1 is the 5th season coverage of the prologue and chapters 1 through 2, 3.7 thousand views and 24 likes.
3.7
thousand
thousand
on YouTube.
Wow.
People like that one. People would really like it, Please and Thank You, if Julia and I finished our discussion of the Broken Earth trilogy. Because the 5th season and the Obelisk Gate are the first and second books of that series, and we have not covered the third yet. Julia would like to.
Mm-hmm.
However, Julia is also directing a show this year.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking forward to that. She is at the Maplewood Barn. She's going to be directing 12 Angry Jurors.
My son was in 12 Angry Jurors.
I know. He was really good. He
Thank
was
you.
He was the marketing guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The yuppie.
The yuppie.
Yeah.
And he did a really good job playing a yuppie.
Thank you.
He was very charismatic.
Thank you.
Yeah. He was also elected in his school for something very special recently, wasn't he? What did they vote him in as?
My son Jim won Courtwarming King.
Yeah.
This in February of 26.
Yeah.
So it was he won King, and another girl in Fulton High School's theater department won Queen, and that was really cute.
Nice.
Because they've kind of come up together through the performing arts sector in Fulton.
Yeah.
So that was really sweet. He played Gomez Adams in Fulton High's Addams Family play this past fall.
Nice.
And coming up, Jim will be portraying Wadsworth in Clue in his senior show.
That's really fun.
Yeah.
Clue is
Would
a good
definitely recommend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, you want to hear about top 10 episodes on Spotify?
Of course.
And this is specifically on Spotify. There are more views if you look at like plays as a whole, but when they're talking about top 10 episodes, they only tell you Spotify stats. They don't tell you the other ones, which is a bit annoying, but
yeah.
So number 10, The Many Silly Adventures of Sir Lancelot. That is the third episode of Le Mordatha 5.
That was a great episode.
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. Le Mordatha 6.
Okay.
I enjoyed that one. I loved all the Lancelot episodes.
I get down with the Lemort's Arthur stuff.
I know you do.
God,
it's your
so
favorite.
Good. So fun.
It's your favorite. I worry that it has colored your expectation of how we record this show a little too much. It
very much did.
Because you want to talk about every little thing with every book that we talk about, and we don't actually need to do that.
I don't want to talk about every little thing. I just want to talk about what I think is important.
And that's everything. Because what you don't know, audience, if you've ever listened to an episode with Jackie and I, during the recording process, you don't get to hear this because I'm a magic editor. But what you don't hear is me being like, okay, and then the chapter ends with this, and Jackie doesn't want to interrupt me, and so then as soon as I'm done talking, she'll just click in, and she'll be like, hey, I have more stuff I want to say. It's like, all right, sorry, my bad.
Well, you did just admit, though, what was it, a couple of weeks ago, you said you were editing something and you noticed that talking with me has changed your behavior to where you actually ask your guests now, do you have anything else to add?
Before we move on to the next chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I cut that out, too, because I feel like that doesn't really flow very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just in case you were thinking like, oh, wow, Ryan and his friends, they really know how to talk. They really know how to make a conversation flow. And while that is true.
Kind of only barely sometimes.
While that is true, we are still human. And so there's still like,
Oh, there's so many. Yeah. There's so many times
fart
when
noises.
You and I were doing Dorian.
He wishes.
He does wish. There was a lot of research on my end that I did.
Yeah. Which I really appreciated.
Yeah. Oh, I loved it. But there were a lot of times when we were recording where I would make Ryan stop what he was doing so I could look something up. Worth it. No regrets.
All right, you want to hear about these top 10?
Of course I do.
Okay, so this is the top 10 episodes on Spotify only. Okay. So number 10, as I said, was the third episode of the Lancelot episodes. Highly recommend.
Love it.
for context, I want to mention the reason why Lamore D'Arthur is so different from the rest. I don't assume that you are going to read the Death of Arthur stories. I'm telling you those
Well, that's
stories.
where you got me wrong.
And that's where I got
bruv.
you screwed up, because all the other books, I do assume that you're actually going to be reading those. And so I don't feel the need to recap everything. I just feel the need to kind of remind you of things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think because your favorites are the Arthur episodes, you're like, okay, I got to fucking talk about everything. We don't have to. We don't have to.
You like how I do it.
I would like it if we dialed it back a smidge. I do like it.
I will dial it only up.
It's
I don't dial down.
Number 9 episode. I don't give a fuck about the word of Jim. That's a 12 months episode that just came out recently. 36 plays.
Nice.
Yeah. So for context.
So much context.
So there is this thing amongst fantasy authors. It's called, the word of whoever that author is, right? So Brandon Sanderson's a common example. Like it'll be shortened as WOB, right? It's same way with Jim Butcher, WOJ. Basically anything that authors say about their books outside of their books. I don't take much stock in what an author has to say about their book.
Do you mean what they say in terms of like the continuing of the story, or
that, but mainly like what they have to say, like, inner workings of their series, right? Like, like whenever there's plot holes or inconsistencies with magic, that kind of thing. And then the author chimes in with like, well, actually, if you didn't put that shit in your book,
then it's not canon, bitch.
Exactly. That is how I feel about it.
Yeah.
That's why I don't pay any fucking attention to Pottermore.
Oh, look, here's the thing. If you want a solid 20 minutes of a guy ranting at you while he's blue in the face, get my husband Will to talk to you about Pottermore. Oh my God.
Makes him so mad.
Whoa. He gets so mad.
Number 8 episode was In Broad Daylight. That was a one-off episode. Got 39 plays on Spotify. Butters deserves his glow up. That is another 12 months episode. So there's this character, Butters, who's like, he's like 40 something and he's a mortician and he's like this scrawny little nerdy guy that loves polka music. And
this guy sounds like my kind of guy.
over the course of the series, he slowly evolves into a badass. But for quite a few members of the fan base, he is undeservedly a badass, and it feels like self-insert from the author. Because, so check this out, right? That is what he's like at the beginning when he's first introduced back in like book 7, right? Fast forward to now, book 18, and he is basically a Jedi, and he's in a threesome with a couple werewolf chicks.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, right.
Good for Butters, man.
And
glow up.
And there's some people that feel like he doesn't deserve this glow up, and I'm just sitting here like, what do you mean? Butters is the sweetest man. Of course, these werewolf chicks are into him.
Then who does? I'll take it. If nobody wants Butters to have it, I'll take it.
Number 6 episode, and you'll be happy about this, Jackie, because this is
Babe, I'm happy about all of them.
This is one of your episodes.
Okay.
The gayest novel of the Victorian era. This is our first episode of The Picture of Dorian Gray that we covered.
I am so proud.
44
of
plays.
Dorian.
44 plays.
Yeah. That's excellent. Thanks, guys.
Number 5.
Wait, did you say 44?
44 plays. This is only on Spotify.
Did you know that 44 was my number when I played softball?
I did not.
Yep, second base.
Was your number immortalized? Were you that good?
No.
No.
I was really bad, but boy, did I have fun.
Got put back in recirculation.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Almost immediately.
Okay, number 5 episode is the first episode of 12 months. Pain is a Fire. I named it that because that is the first sentence of that book. 12 months is all about grief and what those first 12 months of grief is like when you lose someone.
I'm going to have to check it out.
It's really good.
Yeah.
The nice thing about the Dresden Files, because that's the most recent installment, is that Jim Butcher will always treat every installment of that series as though it is someone's first time picking up that series.
Oh, that's cool.
So everything that you need to know to appreciate and enjoy that book is all in that book.
That's great.
Yeah. It is a little weird for me because he doesn't feel the need to belabor like the details of everything that's ever happened in the series. He really only brings up what is absolutely necessary.
Does it end up feeling repetitive?
No, and actually I appreciate that because it does feel repetitive if you're binge reading through these books.
Oh, sure.
Right? Because he'll give the same kind of explanations about, like, same kind of descriptions about his car and of the places that he frequents and of the characters, like recurring characters. He'll give kind of like the same descriptions of these characters. But, you know, fast forward to book 18 and actually he's changed his approach a little bit. And it feels fresh and I really appreciate it. There's less just exposition and there's more weaving explanations into dialogue, which I really appreciate. Like any time that you can explain something through characters, I always prefer that.
Yeah, really economical use of your time. I love that. Yeah.
Number 4 episode is the first episode of the 5th season, 49 plays. Number 3 episode is the second episode of The Princess Bride, 49 episodes.
Fantastic.
Number 2 episode is an episode of 12 Months called Lore Drop. It was a really cool episode where one of the chapters we find out some crazy information about one of the vampire courts. So in the Dresden Files, there's 4 vampire courts. One of them is dead. One of them has been culled a lot because of Bram Stoker's Dracula. It was basically just, you know, a how-to guide on how to kill Black Court vampires. Mm-hmm. And then there's the White Court. They're like energy vampires. They feed on emotions. Mm-hmm. One flavor of White Court vampires feeds on lust. Another flavor feeds on fear. Another flavor feeds on anger, if I remember correctly, something like that. Mm-hmm. And then there's the Jade Court. We know very little about the Jade Court.
Oh, I would expect nothing less.
We don't really know what's up with them. They're very secretive. Nobody sees them.
Well, we in the Jade Court like to keep it that way.
What are you talking about? You're not a vampire. Uh-huh. Number 1 episode. Delay, Deny, Defend. 80 views. I covered that with Clifton. And now, again, I want to say, this is Spotify only. Because, so Lore Drop was the most recent episode that I've released. For context, today is March 26th. Mm-hmm. We try to get this episode recorded in like the last week or so of March for the anniversary. So total plays, Lore Drop has 178 as of today. That's great.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy because it just looks like this massive spike on the analytic like bar chart.
Yeah. It does. He's showing me basically a little mountain range.
Yeah.
So when I listen to the podcast, I listen to it on Apple Podcasts.
Okay.
Do you have metrics for that too?
I wish I did. Not really. I have a dashboard that I can access, but I got a new phone recently. I haven't set any of that up on my new phone, so I cannot look at that right now. I know that Apple Podcasts is not my top viewership for like people that listen. I actually have metrics for that too on Spotify for creators. So let me pull that up.
Okay.
So of my listeners, those that listen on Apple Podcasts, 12.3%.
If that's not nothing.
It's not nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our top percentage of people who listen outside of the United States, 7.5% listen in Canada.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Thanks, Canada.
Yeah. There's 46 countries or regions that people have listened. Most of these are like really small, less than a percentage of listeners. And so most of these, realistically, someone listened, like one person listened to one episode one time, right?
Sure.
Like, of these, we've got Belgium, Kuwait, Denmark, Taiwan, Palestine, Latvia, the Republic of Moldova, Trinidad and Tobago, Hungary, Serbia, Kenya, the United Arab Emirates, China, Finland, Greece, the Netherlands, and Nepal. These are all countries where someone listened one time, most likely, because it's in the percentages, it's less than 0.1%.
You're worldwide, baby.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
When you first started the podcast, like, did you ever expect for it to expand outside of your own circle?
I really didn't put much thought into it. I assumed that most people that were going to listen were going to be people from Missouri, because most people I know are from Missouri. So most people that would listen, I imagine, to be from here. I was honestly expecting like my number 2 group of listeners to be the UK, because I have a few friends in the UK. But they don't listen quite as much. They are up there, though. They're 2.4% of my listeners. Yeah.
Again, not nothing.
Not nothing. Not nothing.
What did you do before you started the podcast?
What do you mean?
Like, were you a real bookworm before anyway?
Yes and no. When I was in school, I loved reading. Reading was my thing. Like, when I was done with my homework, my nose was in a book. When there were assemblies at school, I would try and get out of them by going to the library and just reading, because I had no school spirit.
Oh.
When I graduated, I very quickly got into audiobooks, because right around the time I graduated was when wireless earbud technology was starting to take off. And so that was excellent for me, because I became a delivery driver. And so I just was listening to audiobooks that way. And the one thing that will set me into a rage is when I'm wearing corded earbuds and they somehow get yanked out of my ears. Like, just the feeling of earbuds getting yanked out of my ears, it triggers me like nothing else.
Oh, no. You know what triggers me?
Huh.
Biting my tongue.
Biting your tongue.
I see red. Boy, I could burn the whole world down.
Zach's here!
Oh my gosh.
He's here! Come sit down, man. Come sit down.
Hi, Zach.
We're not very far in. I just finished the analytics segment.
Oh, I missed the best part. Dang it. I got a couple minutes. The kids are out in the car, so.
Are they really?
Victor's very sad he didn't get to come in.
Oh my gosh.
He wanted to come in.
Oh
and
my
I was
gosh.
like, mm-mm.
Okay, well, since you're here,
Can't do it.
The one big question that I have for both of you is a formatting question. As you both know, we on this podcast dedicate each episode to just a few chapters at a time. We go really in depth. That said, some of my best performing episodes are the one-offs. And so my question is, as guests on this podcast, do you prefer what we do now? Would you prefer to exclusively do one-off episodes? Would you prefer a mix of both?
I don't think I would be able to do a one-off. I just talk so much and there's so much.
So the only way you could
express.
do a one-off is if we did a short story.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say length of the text and also density of the text would sort of determine that. So, like, we could probably do, like what we're doing with Arthur.
Yeah.
We could do each adventure as an episode instead of how we've been doing. Like Lancelot could have been probably one episode.
If we really wanted to.
Yeah, if we wanted to, because they're long, but they're not that dense.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Like it. That's right.
The thing about those episodes is just because of the nature of how we've done it, right? Because
Yeah.
I treat it as an exercise in translating ye old English into modern English. And I have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well,
then
and if we don't go chapter by chapter, then we don't get the awesome like taglines.
Yeah.
The summaries in between.
And
That would suck.
That is a signature of the show, is we summarize what the chapters are, and we get that from Lamort Arthur.
Yeah.
Like all of my chapter summaries for other books is like how this character did this and how this character did this, that kind of thing. And I have fun with that. I do want to get new music because the music that I use for Lamort Arthur it doesn't feel fitting for other, like as bridging music for chapters for other books.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially when we're doing like, the Dark Tower, for instance.
Right.
I want like spaghetti Western music,
Yeah.
My other question, I guess, for you, Zach, what do you imagine your best performing episode is right now?
Best one?
Yeah.
I would say my best guess is it's either one of the mythology ones or the Hogfather.
No, it's neither of these.
Really?
So actually, this is the first time that none of the mythology episodes are on the top 10.
I'm only mostly hurt by that.
Well,
no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Mythology's great, but I know it's not everybody's bag.
So your best performing episode is number 10. It is The Many Silly Adventures of Sir Lancelot, Lamort Arthur 6. That's the final episode of the Lancelot.
Lancelot is a big draw for people.
Lancelot is a big draw.
He's kind of...
Like, when you title something The Many Silly Adventures of Sir Lancelot, people are like, oh, I want to hear about this.
Yeah. Well, you only ever hear the serious adventures of Lancelot. They're like, he's got silly ones? Like, he's a silly, silly boy.
Yeah.
He's a goofy little guy.
Yeah. Something I really enjoyed about discussing those stories with you was it became very evident to us that these are all short stories about Lancelot that they just mushed together.
Yeah.
But also they framed it as, like, you would expect to get Lancelot's origin story. You don't. Like, his origin story was in somebody else's story, like, 3 stories ago. We are introduced to Lancelot as a point of view character after he and all the other knights of the Round Table have conquered Rome, became conquerors of the world, and he's bored.
Yeah.
That's where he's at.
He's like, well, I guess I'll adventure now. It's like, now? I feel like you could have been doing this 20 years.
So you feel like you would prefer to continue to kind of do the format that we've been doing?
I do. Like, if there were another... Well, so, like, I just finished reading The Man Who Was Thursday by G.K. Chesterton. That, I think, could be a one-off. You know? It's like 120 pages. I think it's... Philosophically, it's pretty dense.
Yeah.
But there's just not that much that literally happens that you could get through it in like 2 hours, and that would be fine.
Yes.
I wouldn't try to tackle something like The Bleak House.
I don't know that one.
It's Charles Dickens, real long.
Yeah.
It's one of his more like prosy, very run-on sentence kind of thing. It's not A Christmas Carol. It's not nice.
No, Dickens
tight
is a hoe
prose.
for a run-on sentence.
Speaking of houses.
Oh, no.
So this is The House of Leaves.
Oh, God.
Jackie said, oh, no. So what do you know about this book, Jackie?
Only that there are like tutorials on how to try to actually read it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So...
What is this, like Dante's Inferno?
So
what
the
is
reason
this?
why, I'm
It's
just
like
going to
a
flip
fucking
to a
puzzle
random
book.
page.
It's nuts.
So when you get to like way later in the book, like you're going to get shit like this.
It's
like,
crazy.
You're going to get poems and... Like there's a page or two that like look at this. There's like a dozen poems on 2 pages. On some of these pages it just looks like someone with schizophrenia was here. Let me try and find one of the more schizophrenic pages.
Like some of the words are shaped in different shapes and stuff. It's
so something that in the beginning of the book that I really appreciate. And I get, here we go. This is where we start seeing the schizophrenic shit. You see that?
Oh, yeah.
And
Weird.
This is going to be really exciting for the audience. But yeah, no, it's really weird.
This was a guy who was like, James Joyce didn't go far enough. Finnegan's Wake was a test run.
So something I really like about this book that's kind of unnerving to me is the word house in the text. It's blue, and the kerning is a little off. So like when you're reading it, it's just a little out of place, that word, every time you read it. And it's in a baby blue. And it's only the word house that is treated like that.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Kit picked this book up when she was working on her first master's degree, and she couldn't do it. It was triggering for her because of all of the fake shit, right? It's treated like a analytical text of something that doesn't exist. And
I love that. That's right up my alley.
And so there's like citations and shit. Some of them are real. Some of them are completely and totally made,
that would
up.
drive me nuts.
It reminds me of my husband Will read Infinite Jest several years ago.
Yeah.
And I mean, the footnotes alone are just about half of the book.
Yeah.
So he had to have like a chart about like which characters were which and like are we in the footnotes story? Are we in the the front of the book story?
Yeah.
And Infinite Jest and House of Leaves to me are in the same level.
Yeah.
Of like, oh my God, why would you do it to yourself?
House of Leaves is a book that I want to tackle on this podcast because I think it would be a fun challenge to figure out how the fuck we would even approach it. Like at first, it's very straightforward, but the further in you go, the more it's like, especially once you get to the appendixes in the back. It's like, oh, how the fuck am I supposed to read this? What does any of this mean? What is this page with all this schizophrenic text going on? What is?
Yeah.
I just want to read the poems.
Yeah.
That's it. The rest of it, I can take you or leave it. Give me the poems.
I just want to see the fun font pictures.
Yeah.
So, you were talking about one-off episodes, and I thought of one that would be really fun for me to do. You were talking about a book that like has a lot of density, but not a lot of maybe plot or not a lot of things that happen. And I think doing like the yellow wallpaper would be really cool because it's really psychological, but it's very, very short.
Okay. We could do.
So maybe we could do that.
I think a lot of those, like, I'm mentally rolling my eyes even thinking about it. But the sort of American classics that are like the required high school reading, that in high school you're like, this book fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I hate this book. Every one of those books I have revisited since turning like 30.
Yeah.
I love them.
Fucking rock.
They're really good.
Yeah, no, so
one I refuse to do is The Catcher in the Rye. I will not read it. I hated it so much that every time I see the book, I want to buy it just to throw it away.
Kit has similar feelings about Catcher in the Rye.
I just can't stand it.
She does not like that book.
I have never read it.
But
maybe I'm lucky for this.
There's a lot of weirdly emphatic prostitution in it that I'm like, I don't need to be reading this.
Oh, I'm on board.
I don't want that. Well, it's not like they don't treat the prostitutes well.
No.
Well, to finish up that thought, stuff like that, Brave New World, 1984, Fahrenheit 451,
Animal
like
Farm.
Those kinds of books, like they're real brief, but there's a lot of stuff you could pull out of it.
I'm picking up that mental thread again. I've been on a similar journey through 2025 into 2026, reading a lot of literary classics. Thanks, Jackie.
You're welcome.
So what has been released up to this point with Jackie was The Picture of Dorian Gray. And that's kind of what kicked off my desire to start reading some other stuff.
It's one of my wife's favorites.
Cool.
She loves it. She's a big fan of all Gothic literature, but she's
Me
like,
too.
Dorian Gray.
We would be best friends.
I think she just finished, was it The Black Tulip?
Then you should persuade her to listen to our coverage, because while we're going through, I'm comparing the classic version with the original uncensored version. And Jackie does a lot of research into the symbolism of flowers throughout that book.
Oh, man. Floriculture is super cool stuff.
Yeah.
I really like it.
But then we covered Jane Eyre. Those episodes will be coming out later this year.
Can't wait. Cannot wait.
That
That's
was
my
first book where like I'm almost exclusively either like nonfiction, like philosophical treatise stuff, or I'm like myth and fantasy. Those are my two things. I'll read like Orthodoxy and The Everlasting Man and Lord of the Rings and basically anything by Roger Zelazny, like that.
Yeah.
That's what I read. And finally, my wife was like, you need to read more kind of literary classics.
Fun
and the
fact,
first,
literary classics, when you're not being forced to read them, they're good.
they're
Yeah,
so
they
good.
rock.
They're classics
so
for
good.
a reason.
I
Yeah.
tried, the first one I tried was Pilgrim's Progress
Mhm.
because I really like the Divine Comedy.
That one was a mistake.
And so it was pitched to me as like, well, this is the Protestant Divine Comedy, basically. You know, the Divine Comedy is very Catholic.
Mhm.
So like, well, this is the Protestant version of that. And I was like, well, that sounds interesting.
It was
I'll read
It
that.
was so funny when you were telling me about
I
that.
made it to like page 100 and I was like, can't do it.
I-
Can't do it.
I was
It's so bad.
shocked
I
that
hate it.
I was so shocked that you DNF'd a book.
Oh, man.
Told Kit
Oh, you got to
about
break
it.
up with a book.
I
Oh,
told
man.
Kit that you finally DNF'd a book. It finally happened. And she's like, what book? And I said, Pilgrim's Progress. And she's like, I fucking hate that book. He was right not to finish
So-
it.
So my sister-in-law got me, it's like a children's version. It's called The Little Pilgrim's Progress.
No.
And it's
Cute.
basically the same story, but they're like little like fable animals that go through it. There's a lot of real cute like pencil illustrations in it. And
Was
so
that more palatable?
I flipped through that and I was like, this is way better.
Oh.
Way better. Like Bunyan missed the boat when he's like, this should have been his Chronicles of Narnia. And he was trying to make it the Divine Comedy. You should not have done that. So I'm excited to read that to Victor because then I'll finally finish the story
Yeah.
and he'll get, I'm like, this is a much better version of it.
How old is Victor now? Is he 3?
He's about to turn 3. He'll be 3 in May.
Man.
And our
Okay.
third was born 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Super
Mazel.
excited.
Little Ivan.
His name is Ivan. We like the
Yeah.
strong Russian names.
Yeah. I've
For the
gathered.
boys. Joan, nice.
Joan's a strong name for a girl.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
perfect.
yeah. We were like Joan
We
of
like
Arc.
a J name around here.
We're like Joan of Arc.
So
That's
she's not
the
quite
one.
2 yet, right?
She'll be 2 in November.
Okay.
Ooh.
So she's a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, they're close.
Bing, bam, boom.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're gonna get to 12, we got to get moving.
When he first got married, he told me that he wanted to have a big family, big Catholic family,
Mhm.
and I didn't know how seriously to take him, but he's been very serious. Like
You're not joking about 12?
Oh, absolutely not.
Wow.
Absolutely not. My sister-in-law just had number 7.
So the challenge is going to be finishing the discussion of Lamore Darthur, which I've already determined is going to take like 10 years.
It's
at
gonna
the
be a long
pace that
time.
we're going.
Yeah.
So the challenge is going to be finishing the series before he's done having kids.
Yeah. Yeah. It might just be one of those things. It'll be a Tolkien-esque thing where it's like, I will never finish this. Victor will have to come on to the podcast
Yay.
to finish Lamort de Arthur with you.
Don't put that on Victor. No.
Or like you'll have a son and like these two will have to figure it out. They'll make it work. Something like that.
Something like that.
But so after I threw Pilgrim's Progress into the dark basement bookshelf that never gets read, I picked up Jane Eyre. Because my wife was like, well, why don't you try one of these? Like, they're a little easier to read. One of the struggles with the Pilgrim's Progress is that it is that older English style because it's an older text.
Jane Eyre rage baits you immediately.
Big
And
time.
and so she was like, well, why don't try, one of these? We've got a shelf that's all, Jane Austen and the Brontes and a bunch
Yeah.
of stuff that she likes to read. And I was like, nah,
Oh, man, I would get along with your wife.
it's not my style. I'm like, yeah, like, just like, there's something about like, oh, the perspective character is a woman. I'm like, 50% of this stuff's going to be over my head. Like I'm going to be reading this, getting her internal monologue and just being like, that doesn't make fucking sense. Stop doing that. But,
Jane Eyre makes perfect sense.
but that didn't happen. I was
No.
like, this is a very sort of universal human experience, I think. And it was great. I was glad those scales fell from my eyes. Now I'm like, all right, got to
I'll tell
read
you-
Wuthering Heights. I got to read all these other things.
I'll tell you a woman
Um,
character that I'm not on board with, and it is the woman in Rebecca. I'm so not on
I know.
board
I've
with
never
her.
read Rebecca.
Highly recommend. Oh, that is a one-off episode I did with Julia that I've not put out yet, which I really
Okay.
need to get around to doing because we recorded that episode a while ago. Rebecca.
I remember you live texting me like while you were reading it.
That book was wild, dude. Okay. So it's about this woman who is unnamed, right? Like she is only ever referred to as Mrs. De Winter after she gets married to Mr. De Winter, which is
Mhm.
not very far into the book that they get married. The first chapter she's like, I dreamt of Manderley again. It's the Manderley estate that she's obsessed with. And you can, like, in the first chapter, she's talking about what their lives are like now that they're done with Manderley. And, you know, they're trying to live, you know, normal, quaint, quiet lives, but they can't help but wonder about all of the people that have disappeared. And it's like, what happened? What happened? And then the rest of the book is basically leading up to those events. It is this story of this woman who it feels suppressed by the aura of her husband's first dead wife.
Awesome.
Everyone fucking loved Rebecca. Everyone was obsessed with Rebecca. Everyone wanted to be Rebecca or be with Rebecca. Rebecca threw the best parties, man. And so the new Mrs. De Winter comes in, and people can't help but make comparisons. People can't help but wonder, hey, when are you going to throw a party? Could you throw a party?
And how good is that going to be?
Rebecca threw the best parties. Could you throw a party? And so she finally does. It goes terribly because the headmistress of the house does not like Mrs. De Winter because she was Rebecca's ride or die bitch. And so the reason why the party goes so poorly is because it's a costume party, and she tricks Mrs. De Winter. She's like, hey, why don't you dress up as one of the women in one of the many portraits you have in your gallery? And so,
I see where that's going.
And so she sees one that looks really good, and so she dresses up like that, and she's like one of the first women that's announced. So like really the only people that see her are the house staff and close family, right? And she dresses exactly like Rebecca did at the last party she ever threw before she died.
And so everybody's like, well, that's intentional and in very poor taste.
Yeah.
Now we hate you.
That is absolutely what Mr. De Winter thought happened. And he just is very quietly, like stone, is like, go and get changed right now.
Sick prank, though.
And then the rest of the party did not talk to her. She was convinced that her marriage was dead and over.
What a bitch.
I know.
I don't like to use that word a lot, but if there's a time that calls for it, ooh, that's bad.
Shortly after this, you find out that Mrs. De Winter did not die in a boating accident. She died because Mr. De Winter killed her. He confesses all of this to Mrs. De Winter. And
so not everybody loved Rebecca.
No, he hated Rebecca.
Was it like a jealousy thing? It's like, everybody likes you so much. Nobody likes me.
No, she was just a horrible person to him. And near the end, drove him to kill her because she said some horrible shit. She started going on about all of the men that she was fucking. And she was like, I'm going to have this guy's baby, and you're going to have to raise his baby. And that was too much for him. He killed her.
Yeah, well,
how did he kill her?
He made it look like a boating accident.
Oh, okay. Got it.
And Mrs. De Winter, her takeaway from this was he never loved her. He never loved her. He really does love me. And because after she accepts this giant secret that he's been keeping, they are like so in sync after that. Because she's immediately like, how do I help you? And he's like, you want to help me? You don't want me to go to prison? And she's like, no.
There's a deeper message here about the pros and cons of marriage. And that uniqueness of that relationship.
The marriage was just going horribly until then. And then it was like the most toxic power couple ever.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Because Mrs. De Winter was all about just protecting her man at that point. And
I mean, the amount of relief to be like, I finally can stop comparing myself to this pedestal, terrible person.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, well, everyone else is still going to compare you to that. But like, yeah, but I know what's going on now, right? Like, she was a huge, terrible person to this guy afterwards. But there's this idea that in marriage you either grow apart or you grow together.
Yeah.
And so it was like, that was sort of that crossroads where you're like, well, are we going opposite directions? Or am I picking up my shit and coming down your road?
It's a real marriage maker.
Right. Like that's how you do it. And that what I mean when I say the complexities, the uniqueness of that relationship is like, how many relationships exist where something like finding out the other person is a murderer makes that a stronger relationship.
Right. And that was the thing that's so surprising.
It's like marriage and children. That's it.
I was really, really hoping that when she found out the truth that she was going to become like a better person. No, she became an immediately worse person.
And maybe that's the point.
And it's just such a weird dialogue, especially in the context of feminism, because this woman is the perfect anti-feminist. Her life has no meaning outside of her husband. Mm-hmm. She does not talk about her personal life. You know very, very little about her from before she got married.
Well, yeah, she's nameless. She's only Mrs.
She's only Mrs. De Winter.
Yeah.
Her entire context for being only counts around this man, which is why Rebecca is so important, because that was the woman before her.
Mm-hmm.
And so most of the book, like, Rebecca is this really repressive presence. And then as soon as she finds out that her husband never loved Rebecca, everything changes.
I will be reading this to see what I think about it.
You should totally.
I was just saying, I'm trying not to form too many conclusions based just on your summary.
Yeah.
But even just you pointing that out with like Mrs. De Winter being sort of the anti-feminist.
It feels like it to me. Yeah.
Well, and I'm wondering if there's an intentional sort of thematic purpose there where what is holding Mrs. De Winter back in her own mind is the reputation of another woman.
Absolutely. At least at first.
It's not Mr. De Winter, really.
No.
It's this woman that's not even around.
Which, by the way, Mr. De Winter sucks, dude.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, yeah, he murdered his wife. It's not.
Even before that, like, just the way he talks, it reminds me a lot of what's his face from Jane Eyre.
St. John?
No, the other guy.
Rochester?
Yeah, Rochester. The way he behaves reminds me a lot of Rochester. Like, just the way that he talks to women, and it just really puts me off. It really, really puts me off. He's such a jerk.
All right, last thing I want to bring up before I have to go.
Yeah, because you do.
He really hates that Jane Eyre ends up with Rochester.
Listen.
How do you feel about it?
Okay, so I really feel like there must have been something happening when Charlotte Bronte wrote the book, because in my mind, if it had ended after she told St. John no, or after, say, she, decided that she needed to go check on Rochester or whatever, I feel like the book could have ended. But I wonder if there was something that kind of spurned her to keep writing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no joke, I love the book so much, I do hate the ending.
Oh, I read that feeling the entire time like there is no other way this could end than either these two get together or one or both of them die.
Yeah. Like
that to me, I was like, from the beginning, even just the irony or the foreshadowing of her being warned leaving school, like, do not fall in love with the man of the house that you first go to.
Yeah.
As soon as I read that, I was like, that's exactly what's going to happen, because it has to.
It has to.
I will
say,
the
promise has been made. If there is no payoff, I will be angry.
I don't hate that she ends up with Rochester. I'm fine with it. I actually don't mind the character of Rochester.
I think he does aggravate me in a lot of ways. But part of that I chalk up to just like, I'm a very forward person. Mm-hmm. And so this like socialite dancing around this idea and the like hinting at and testing her, I'm like, that's fucking dumb.
That's the thing about a lot of classics
books. That's super aggravating to me.
Yeah.
But I never lived in England. I don't know what the social circumstances around there would be like. That's a different world to me.
Mm-hmm. Got to test your woman before you marry her.
But when I learned that he had a living wife who was like super mentally ill in his attic, I was like, way more things make sense.
Yeah.
Like, how would you navigate that in a society where like divorce is not a thing?
Yeah.
It doesn't exist legally, spiritually. Like, nope, you're married. He was tricked into this marriage. So like it's valid,
reframes
but
the whole thing.
you know, you're just like, well, fuck, man, that guy's in a really tough spot because he just can't go live a normal life now. And when he tries to, some dickhead from the Caribbean shows up to be like, are you still keeping my very insane sister alive? And he's like, fuck, dude, go away.
So there are
She's fine. I'm just trying to be a guy.
Yeah. There's 2 companion books that I think are really interesting to read to really understand the Rochester character and honestly the Bertha character too. One is Wide Sargasso Sea by Jean Reese. And the other one is Mr. Rochester, a way, way newer book. And I'm blanking on the author right now. I recently read Mr. Rochester and I told you about it.
Yeah.
But the way that the authors kind of gave the backstory to the being in the Caribbean for Bertha and Rochester's whole upbringing, I think it gives you a way clearer picture of why the man ends up the way that he is and ends up drumming up a whole lot more sympathy for him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even the testing part that as I'm reading, I'm like, this is so aggravating. Like, I hate that he's doing that. After learning how he got like shanghaied into this terrible marriage, I'm like, I see what he's doing.
There's a reason.
He's like, how stable are you? Because you got to be pretty fucking stable. Like, I've been burned by this. I need to make sure you don't just fall apart.
Yeah.
I need to make sure you don't have a lot of family that's going to be coming after me. I need to see, like, how connected are you? Is there a bunch of relatives that are going to come asking questions and investigating me? Because that could be a problem.
In his own way, he's trying to do the right thing, but he's going about it in the worst way possible because he doesn't know what the right thing is.
There isn't a right thing. That's the worst part.
Well, yeah, and that's, like, as a...
Well, there's definitely wrong things.
The ending put me in a weird spot emotionally because I'm like, I'm a practicing Catholic. So when they're like, you know, the human in me wants to be like, well, I mean, obviously this isn't a real marriage. Like, this woman's batshit nuts. She's not conscious of things that are really going on around her.
Right.
You know, she couldn't have consented to a marriage. But, you know, like when they got married, she was fairly stable. So I'm like, well, no, it is a valid marriage. And then it's like, you know, like, I got to be on the side of the guy I don't like, which is like, you can't get married, man.
Yeah.
Like, you have a wife. Yeah. That's a binding sacrament. That is what it is. And then it's really, that's part of why I love the book, because it puts me in a position where I'm like, my emotions do not agree with my principles. What do I do? You know, like, my heart's breaking for this guy, but I cannot come to his side.
Which is exactly the position that Jane was in. And her position was such a respectable one. It's like, listen, you are asking me to be your mistress, and I will not
I respect
do
her
that.
so much for being like, I'd rather be homeless.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a hard decision to make, man. It's like, I could do the very slightly understandable but technically wrong thing and live a very comfortable life.
Oh, yeah, and she considers it pretty hard, too.
Yeah. Or I could go around in my hair shirt and eat bugs and, you know, like, those are my choices.
Yeah.
But she goes with the principled route. And I'm like, God, I don't know if I could have done it.
One of my favorite parts of that book is all the chapters revolving around the wedding, right?
Yeah.
Because the day of the wedding, it's like there's very little going on in Jane's head. It's all descriptions of what's happening and what people are saying.
It's all action.
Yeah.
It's all action, right?
Yeah.
And then once all of the action is done, once the government officials leave, they leave her alone, and that's the thing that surprised me the most, is they left her there.
Yeah.
They should not have left her there. But they left her there, and she goes to her room, and then she thought. And then it's just like pages and pages of her just thinking about everything that happened. And that was so cathartic because it was so weird because, you know, you're so in Jane's head. And then for quite a while there, you have no idea what's going on in her head.
Because she has no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Right.
I was going to say, I think that's conveying that, like, experience of like, I don't know what's happening. Things are happening. What's going on? I don't know.
And so then to finally get that moment of seclusion and to just like really think and process, it was beautifully executed.
Yeah. The only time I had to put the book down And I'll say this is another one where I was like, my principles and my emotions conflicted. And so I had to be like, set the book down, was when I learned that there was a fire and that the wife died.
Yeah.
Because there was that little part of me that's like, he's free. He can do it. Like Jane and him can do it. And it's right. Like she gets what she wants and she doesn't have to compromise to do it.
Yeah.
And then I had to stop and I'd be like, I'm celebrating the death of another human.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. Like that's why I had to put it down and be like, hang on.
And another human that isn't inherently like a bad guy.
Yeah. Like she wasn't
it wasn't her fault.
consciously evil.
No.
She was just
She was troubled.
She was disabled
very,
and was an
very-
inconvenience to people around her. And it's like, oh no. No, I can't do that. No, I can't be that guy that's like, well, when someone's really inconvenient, we just, so I was like, fuck, what do I do now? I had to sit and like think about that. And I was like, why am I actually happy? Why am I feeling this way
happy
when
for
something so
Rochester.
tragic happened?
Yeah.
And like, part of the salve was that he did get fucked up.
He did.
Like he did try to save her. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
you weren't just like, oh, such a good out.
No,
No, he tried to
Oh,
save
like,
everyone,
he tried-
including her.
Yeah, he tried to save his wife, even though she was this huge obstacle for him. And so I was like, okay, so I don't have to feel bad that I want good things for him because he seems like a good guy.
he got
He did try to
disabled.
do the right thing.
Like lost
And-
his vision, lost his hand.
Yeah, and I was like, his this sort of romantic freedom comes at the cost of physical freedom.
Yeah.
Like now he is confined to his home. He can't see. He's crippled now. It's like,
Now he's the Bertha.
yeah, like now he is put in the position where he has to be the one that is a burden to others.
Mhm.
And I was like, all right, we've got narrative justice for the first wife. So that's not just this like, oh, we're off scot-free. I was like, okay, that feels a little bit better. And that Jane didn't just crawl back to him and like give it to him. And it was like, let's do it. It was like,
See, it really
I'm going to take
felt
care of you.
like that to me, though.
I think she let him be the burden
yeah.
for his own sake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like learn that having to take care of somebody that you are beholden to can be a virtuous and rewarding thing. He ran from that the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even personally take care of her. He hired a woman to go sit in the attic with his disabled wife.
Yeah.
And so I think that was her showing like this can be this redeeming and sanctifying thing if you do it for the right reason.
Yeah.
And it was only when he accepted that she was like, now I will marry you.
You know, I didn't.
And
think
that's
about
also
it that
when
way.
he started getting his sight back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did start getting his sight back after they were together for like 5 years. That's true.
So that's like, that was at the end where I was like, okay, I am celebrating the right thing. I'm not like, oh, she's dead. Yes. I'm like, okay,
No, but
there's moments for growth. And this was the moment that he showed his honor as a man. And I appreciated it.
But that's such
So-
a human thing, though, is to like just be
Yeah.
relieved that someone is dead.
Well, and that's-
it's not a right feeling. It's not
Yeah.
a morally good feeling.
Yeah.
But that is a feeling that people get sometimes. Like sometimes someone dying is just a huge weight off, and
Yeah.
it does like you're not good or evil for feeling that way. It's just it.
Yeah.
But it when it clashes with your moral principles.
Yes.
Then it's like, oh, should I feel
Well,
this way?
that's why I love the book so much now. It's like twice it
Yeah.
made me go like, this is what I know is right. But boy, I don't feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like that's happened to me sometimes in life, but more often than not, like how I feel emotionally about a thing is also how I feel intellectually about the thing.
For a book
That's
to
usually how I
capture-
get to the intellectual position.
For a book to capture the human feeling.
Yeah.
Though.
But like, and that is something, I mean, everybody I know that I'm like, you guys should read Jane Eyre.
Yeah.
Like it's
yeah.
so good. But it's come up a lot in like guys that I've met through church or through different ministry things, because there's this tendency, and I hate to be like, I'm going to be preachy now. All right, this is for real the last
Go
thing
ahead,
I'm going to
go
say
ahead,
before
go
I go. There's this, I don't know the word to use.
Preconception.
There's a tendency
Tendency.
in Christianity writ large I've belonged to many denominations at this point, so it's kind of everywhere. I was like raised Presbyterian. I was a pretty active Methodist for a while. I've attended many Baptist churches, some of which were...
That was what you were before you got married.
Yeah, some of which were predominantly black, which was very fun.
Oh, okay.
Very exciting.
Nothing
and-
like a black church.
Oh, man, their choirs kill it, dude.
Yeah,
it's so
don't they?
good. And it's the only church that I've ever seen where, like, the kids are the ushers. So, like, young men,
Yeah.
I'm talking 11, 12-year-old little boys are like, they're taking your coat. They're like, I'll show you to your seat. They'll walk you in. They'll sit
Yeah.
you down. They'll tell you, please turn your phone off.
Yeah.
And they will come and correct you. Like, as an adult, I'm sitting there and a 12-year-old boy comes out and he goes, you can't eat in here. And I'd like opened a granola bar. He's like, give it here. He confiscated my granola bar. I was like, I didn't have breakfast. He goes, there'll be food after. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like,
Fine.
so it's a fun church. And now I'm Catholic. But there's this like weird thing where everybody is afraid to admit their own shortcomings.
Yes.
You know, like they take that, like, be Christ-like, and they're like, I have to do that all the time forever. But we all know that you're not able to do that. It's impossible, which is like the point of the book.
Mhm.
The whole book is like, hey, none of you can do it. That's why this guy had to do it.
There is a book.
Like, literally only God could do it. That's the point. But no one wants to admit that to each other. And so you have this like weird, like everyone's this like flat facade. And you're like dancing around each other, be like, how vulnerable can I be with you? Like, if I share this like sad thing or like this broken thing about me, are you going to let down your walls and reveal yours to me and then we get closer? Or are you going to be like, shame,
Yeah.
and like drum me out of the fucking church? And so there's that weird moment. And so this is one of those books where I'm like, everybody, I'm like, read that book. And then after they read it, I'm like, what did you think about it?
Yeah.
That's like the little litmus test for like, can you admit that you were happy when a woman died and felt guilty about it? Or are you just going to be like, oh, good on Rochester for going in there. And Jane was right. She should never have gotten married to that guy. It was, are you going to be that guy?
Yeah, you can be that.
Are you going to be like, nah, I didn't feel anything at all at that? Because that's fake.
There is a book
Boo.
that
Fake. No, you didn't.
that I think is really, that's not the Bible, that has really affected my like views and opinion of Jesus. And I've talked to you a little bit about it. I may have brought it up to you too, Jackie. Lamb by Christopher Moore.
Mhm.
You've brought it up.
I've
but-
brought it up.
Yeah.
I love that book because it basically one of Jesus's best friends. His name is Biff. His name is Levi, who is called Biff,
Right.
and it's so named.
There's like 800 Levi's running around.
So named because his mother would whack him on the back of the head, and the onomatopoeia sound for that
Biff.
in their language was Biff.
Yeah, Biff.
So
That's
Aw.
funny.
they met when they were like 5 or 6. They were like at the market. Jesus. And the other thing I really like about it is Biff never calls him Jesus, right? Like when he first starts telling his story, because basically what happens is an angel revives him in the modern day and then sequesters him into a hotel room. He gives him the gift of tongues. So he knows what everything is when he looks at it, but he doesn't actually know what it is. It's like he knows that that is a car, but he does not understand the implications of cars. They're just shocking to him, right? Like, he's like, I know that there's a 7-Eleven down the corner, but I can't tell you what the hell a 7-Eleven is.
Mhm.
Interesting.
That kind of thing. But then
Yeah.
he starts telling the story, and he's like, okay, so first of all, his name was not Jesus. Jesus is just like a weird translation. His name was Joshua. I called him Josh. Christ means savior. I don't know where the H came from.
That's funny.
And the first story that he tells is like how he met Jesus. He was with his little brother. Like Jesus was like 6 at the time. And his little brother is smashing a lizard with a rock. And then he gives the lizard to Jesus. And Jesus pops the lizard in his mouth, pulls it back out, and it's alive again. Gives it right back to his little brother. Little brother smashes it with a rock again. And just rinse and repeat. Biff is watching this whole thing. Nobody else is paying any attention. And so he just walks right up to Jesus and is like, can I do that? And Jesus is like, which part? Either. And that's how they became best friends.
He's like, half of this equation is in your court, but the other half,
And so
that's all me, dog.
And so the story is about the story of Jesus up through into his 30s, because in
Yeah.
the Bible you get the birth and then you get him as an adult.
Yeah.
You don't really get anything else.
Yeah. Well, and not even all 4 of the Gospels have the birth account.
Right.
You know, that's only Luke is the really famous one.
And
That's where you get a lot
and-
of your nativity stuff. But,
And so the angel that brought him back to life was like, you're not allowed to read the Bible. You're not allowed to read that. I don't want that coloring your opinion while you're writing this. I just want you to write your story. You can read the Bible later. What the angel was ignorant about is that every hotel room has a copy of the Bible.
Yeah.
And so he does discover the Bible, and then he sneaks off to the bathroom to read it. And so he read, he's like, okay, so the first half is like, I'm familiar with all of that, but so I'm reading this New Testament stuff, and I'm really confused because like all of these guys are talking about Jesus when he's an adult. Nobody is telling the story of what he was like as a kid. And so he realizes that's why I was brought back to life, because nobody is actually telling the story of what this guy was actually like. And so it's Christopher Moore's approach to that. And I feel like it does a really good job of adapting those biblical stories while also telling an original story and characterizing Jesus really well. Because Jesus was, I mean, the way that he's characterized in the book, he's this guy that was terrified of getting it wrong because he had this immense, massive pressure on him to get it right, because he knew from the time he was like 5 that he was the Son of God.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the only parts of the Bible that like gives any kind of character as far as like an emotional tone to Jesus is it calls him a man of sorrow. Like that's the whole character. You're like, what was Jesus like? You know, people are like, oh, he was happy and he was laughing and he, you know, everything was great because, you know, it's God and we're here to save the world. It's like, no, he was sad like all the time.
Yeah.
And it's because his entire life he knew exactly where all that stuff was leading. And he was like, I got to do it. I'm the only one that can do it.
Yeah.
But man, I really don't want to fucking do it.
It was really funny at the end of the book when he knows that the end is coming. And so he's really trying to just drill into the heads of all of his followers. Do not kill. Do not kill. And everybody's like, well, what if someone does this to me? Do not kill. Well, what if someone does this to my wife? Do not kill. And just this constant drumming is like, so under no circumstances, do not kill. I don't know how much more clear I can be about this. Don't do it.
Oh, man. Yeah, I wonder, I'd like to read it. I'm sure it's full of blasphemy and all kinds of things, but I would love to read it anyway.
It has a reader's blessing at the very beginning. I want to read it too.
Oh, there you go.
Because I think it sets up the book very well.
There's some apocrypha, like non-canonical books that are at least alleged to be contemporaneous with New Testament Gospels and the epistles, one of which is the Gospel of Thomas. And I want to say that has some childhood anecdotes of Jesus in it. And so I wonder
some of them,
if that's where he pulled some of those from.
I almost certainly, because I know that there's one apocryphal story of Jesus about like some kind of fucked up shit that he did when he was like a teenager.
Yeah.
And that did not make the cut of the Bible.
The lizard thing reminded me of, I think there was an apocryphal like legend of him as a kid finding a dead bird or like finding a clay bird and like turning it into a real one or bringing it back to life. And his mother saw him do it and she was like, you probably shouldn't do that in front of a bunch of people. And he was like, why? And she's like, they will not understand.
The author's blessing for Lamb. If you have come to these pages for laughter, may you find it. If you are here to be offended, may your ire rise and your blood boil. If you seek an adventure, may the story sing you away to blissful escape. If you need to test or confirm your beliefs, may you reach comfortable conclusions. All books reveal perfection by what they are or what they are not. May you find that which you seek in these pages or outside them. May you find perfection and know it by name. So
I like it.
I think it sets a really good tone for the book because he knows that the content of this book is going to be offensive to some.
Yeah. The minute you put Jesus in or on something.
Yeah.
Controversy.
I think
It's going to happen.
I think it helps.
Even if you're like, I'm a Baptist preacher and I'm writing this book about the teachings of God. It's like, there's going to be a Catholic guy in the other room going, you idiot! Like, it's going to happen.
Too, that he doesn't refer to his friend as Jesus. Like, throughout the book, the guy is Josh or Joshua. Yeah. Like, when they're talking, like, when they're having a dialogue, it's always Josh.
Yeah.
It's always Josh.
That definitely helps.
Yeah.
It helps bring it a little easier to swallow, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was just like, well, so then the Christ did, you'd be like, it feels wrong. I don't know, you should say that.
Well, the other thing about it, too, is this is through the lens of Biff, who is not a good gospel. Like, he is unapologetically horny throughout the book. Throughout the book, he is unapologetically horny, funny. Which plays really well with Jesus, who... he realized very early on that he was never going to have sex. Yeah. Right. And so I remember I sent you a screenshot or two. Like, there was a moment where Biff lost his virginity and Jesus was being really fucking weird about it. And he's like, you got to tell me what it's like, though. And Biff's like, I can't talk to you about this. I don't know how to talk to you about this. And, and there's this really weird scene where Josh convinces Biff for the good of humanity just to set his mind at ease so he understands what he's missing. Biff gets with a prostitute and is in another room and Josh is like yelling to him. It's like, what are you doing now? And Biff's like, this is what I'm doing now.
Oh, man.
So weird.
That would be weird.
Anyways, I think you need to get going.
I do. I got to go. It was great to be here.
Thank you for coming.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. Yeah.
Have a good time, guys.
Yeah.
Good to meet you.
Absolutely, man. I was very surprised that Zach was able to drop in when he did.
I was so excited to meet Zach.
Because I know how busy he is. And like, he told me well in advance, it was like, baby number 3 is due in March, so I'm not committing to anything, but if I can drop in, I will. And so
and he did it.
So I texted him like an hour before. I was like, hey, we're going to be recording in an hour if you want to drop in. And he said, absolutely.
It was so cute. Ryan set up a whole other little recording spot with a little chair and everything.
Yeah. And he just came in, total dad move. He was just like, it's me.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, Zach's a cool guy. I think this entire thing is so cool. And it's like I said, I just entirely love our friendship. Yeah. I love being a part of this.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, man.
You're welcome. My struggle right now is keeping my enthusiasm. I really do like what we're doing, but this past year has been really rough.
You've had a weird year.
I've had a really weird year. Yeah. I've been dealing with a lot of difficult things. And so it has made my enthusiasm for this wane, and it's not because I don't like doing this. It's because sometimes I feel like I'm barely treading water. I'm barely like keeping afloat. And so that does make this difficult at times. And so I don't even know why I decided to challenge myself to put out an episode a week. That was so stupid. But I wanted to see if I could do it, if that was something I wanted to do, if that was going to revitalize or revive any kind of drive in me.
Sure.
I think after doing this for 3 years, it's safe to say that my least favorite part of this entire process is editing. Editing is just boring. It just is. It's like, okay, let's sit down for 2 or 3 hours and do this. And it's like, ugh. I'm happy with the final product. I'm always happy with the final product. I never put out anything that I'm unhappy with. But personal life does make it difficult. Here's my commitment for the year. Maintain. I'm just going, if I can maintain putting out an episode every 2 weeks for the next year, I will be happy.
Absolutely.
And as a bonus goal that I'm not going to give myself stress about if I fail is getting shirts.
Yay!
If you go into the episode catalog and you look at any of the newer Lamore Darther episode thumbnails, if you go take a look at that thumbnail, I have that on a shirt. Julia made that shirt for me. She made the graphic for the shirt in particular, and she said, "This is yours. You can use this however you want. No charge. My gift to you."
Good job, Julia.
And it's a really lovely design.
Yeah, it's sick as hell.
And so I use that for the Lamore Darther episodes, but I have it for a shirt. I have one shirt, and I like to wear it sometimes.
And every time he wears it, I get so mad that it's not mine.
Right. And lots of people feel that way. Lots of people see that shirt, and they're like, "Ryan, when are you going to sell these? When are you going to sell these? When are you going to sell these?" And it's like, I don't know shit about selling shirts. That's the...
Well, so keep your eyes peeled. Maybe we'll start learning some shit about some fuck.
I have a tentative, no pressure goal to get shirts up and running, selling through my Patreon.
Sick.
That is a goal that I have, but I am not going to stress about it.
Yeah.
The main goal is to just maintain.
Mm-hmm.
There was this 2 years ago now. This would have been in the summer in 2024. I went with my wife to Arkansas for a wedding. And so we were there for like maybe 5 days, and I had very little to do. I was mainly there just to be supportive and to be arm candy for my wife, who was one of the bridesmaids.
Nice.
And so there was a day or two where I was in a house that the house had no Wi-Fi. And so I had like nothing to do. And so I just edited. All I had to do to keep my brain occupied was work on this podcast. And so I did. And then I was like 6 months in advance at that point. And I was like, this is the best. I don't have to worry about any of this. I got all of the work done. Everything is scheduled. Everything is set.
That's chill.
It was super chill. And I was on top of things up through into like April or May of last year. It was excellent. And now I have to really cram to get these episodes out on time.
That's okay.
I really want to build up a buffer again, but I just don't have the drive.
Have patience, have grace with yourself.
And that is what my wife tells me. Like, sometimes I get really down on myself and talking to her about this, and she's like, listen, man, you are human. I know that you have really high standards for your podcasting, but you're just a guy. You're literally just a guy.
You're just a one dude
You're just
doing this.
one dude, and nobody is giving you pressure about this but you.
You are the boss. It's not like you're, beholden to somebody else. This is your show, dude.
I know. I just want to hold myself to my standards.
That's
And
okay.
So when I don't hold myself to my standards, I get really upset. And I know that I could just give myself looser standards. It's part of the reason why I was wondering about, maybe we should shift the format of the show a little bit.
Mhm.
Would it make sense for me to do an episode a month, but we just cover one book and we in one episode if I need to? Jackie's shaking her head. She doesn't like that.
Jackie doesn't like that.
Jackie doesn't like that.
Well, it's like Jack and I said, if the say the length of the subject matter makes it make sense, then fine. But
yeah.
The 3 books now that we're working on, because we're in the middle of recording another one.
Yeah.
I don't think you could. If you did it, the episode would be weirdly sparse. Or way long.
Next week, expect another episode of 12 Months, and we'll be finishing that out, I believe, in May 12th, I believe.
Don't hold him to it.
I might be pulling that out of my ass. I want to say May 12th is when we're going to start covering our next book.
Perfect.
Bye.
Bye.